What is good, YouTube, man? Today I'm back with you guys, with the nation, for another video, man. And today I got us a good one, man. I'm gonna be going over the personnel that Gus Bradley may use once we get into that bear front in that bear formation, right? And there's a good amount of personnel that we can have out on that field at once. But right before I get into today's video and today's topic, I have to give a shout out to my boy Icy Nate. He is the creator of mostly all these thumbnails for these videos. So big shout out to Icy Nate, man, for really helping out this channel and helping out this channel grow. Please go subscribe to his channel. It's Icy_Nate. He just reached 500 subscribers yesterday, so go show him some love. But let's get into today's video, right? So, like I said, I'm gonna be going over the personnel that Gus Bradley will probably use once we go into this bear front, this bear formation, right? I mean, there's really mostly a couple of times that we'll go into this formation, and that's either on the goal line or maybe, you know, when they are really needing a close yard, a close inch for that first down, or when they just go into heavy run sets, right? When they go, you know, two tight ends or 9 or 11 personnel, however the offense likes to call it. You know, and in this front, you know, there's five down linemen, right? Basically, there's a 6 technique, a 3 technique, a 1 tech right in the middle, right head up over the center. There's a 5 technique that's a bit outside. It's an outside shade on the guard, and then there's your Leo, right? So, let's get into it, man. I'm gonna talk about first who would it most likely look like, who the personnel would look like on rundowns, right? So, for that 6 technique, right, when we're out there in rundowns and we have all these guys out there at once, if I'm being honest, in run formations, when we need extra guys out there to help support that run, when we see them come out in true running sets and true, like, let's say they came out in a heavy run heavy formation, and we saw that there was only 1 yard to go. It was 4th and 1, and they were going for it. Then at this time, you're going to get a lot of your beefy guys. You're going to take one of your linebackers out, and you're going to put that fifth guy that's on the line of scrimmage, which would be a Corey Littleton or a Nicholas Morrow. You're going to take him out, and then you're going to sub in a defensive lineman, an athletic one. So let's start off, right, with that 6 technique that'll be there on the outside will probably be Max Crosby, right? That 6 technique on the outside will be Max Crosby when we need that extra 5th defensive lineman. That 6 technique will be played pretty good by Max Crosby, saying that it isn't the strong side. He'll be playing in between the tight end on the right and the tackle, right? So he'll be right in between both of them. Then the 3 technique next to him would most likely either be a Solomon Thomas. Maybe at this point you put in Cleveland Furrow on this side, right? Maybe you put Cleveland Furrow on this side, but I really don't think so. Maybe on this side you put in your Solomon Thomas when you need a good extra beefy defensive tackle. You can put in your Solomon Thomas here, or your David Irving. In my opinion, this 3 technique will probably be David Irving on running formations, right? Or it also could be Quinton Jefferson, right? Quinton Jefferson, he made his money with the Seattle Seahawks as a 3 technique. So actually on run fits, we can see Quinton Jefferson playing that 3 technique alongside Max Crosby. But for that nose tackle, guys, remember that this is just rundowns that I'm talking about first. On this nose tackle, this 1 technique would probably be Jonathan Hankins, right? Jonathan Hankins will be that nose technique. He'll be head up on the center. And at the moment, you have Max Crosby on the outside. Your 3 technique is Quinton Jefferson. Your 1 technique is Jonathan Hankins. And your 5 technique is going to be Cleveland Furrow. Now, this is a very run heavy, run stopping formation that we're trying to match them with. We're trying to make sure they don't get this extra yard, this first down, right? So you have your 5 technique being Cleveland Furrow, and then your Leo is probably going to be the one, the only Unique Ngakoue, right? So that is a very stout defensive line right there. I would be very confident with that defensive line going out there on that field, right? I would be very excited having that defensive line going up against their run formation. I mean, you have a Max Crosby out there, you have a Quinton Jefferson, very good at stopping the run as well, playing that 3 technique. Your 1 technique would be Jonathan Hankins, because this is a run stopping formation. You would also have Cleveland Furrow out there as well as Unique Ngakoue, right? So that's a very strong formation in my opinion, right? That is a very good strong formation. I mean, keep in mind this is a bear front, so you have five defensive linemen at once, and this is mostly used just to stop the run, right? This is mostly used, so this is a very run-stopping personnel when it comes to this Raiders defense. When we do see ourselves in a situation like this, and in all honesty, I'm very, very confident in that run-stopping ability there. You're talking about, you have Max Crosby there, obviously not the best run stopper, but right next to him you have a guy with Quinton Jefferson. Quinton Jefferson is a real good run stopper, very, very solid, and so is Jonathan Hankins, playing that one technique right over the center. Then your 5 technique is in between the guard and the tackle, and that'll be Cleveland Ferrell. And then all the way on the outside is your Leo, and that'll be Yannick Ngakoue. Now, obviously there you have 5 defensive linemen, right? Because you really want your guys to get that push on that offensive line so they don't get that first down. Now, let's say that we were in this personnel, we were in this Bear defense, and let's say that this team ran a lot of play action. You know, we're going to go up against the Browns this year. Maybe you don't want to have Max Crosby in there because you want maybe a more athletic guy being able to cover, right? So maybe you take Max Crosby out. You have Yannick Ngakoue playing that 6 technique, and now you put Corey Littleton back in, right? So let's talk about what this could look like. So in this defense, right, when we're talking about a team that runs a lot of play action, you don't want 5 defensive linemen out there like against the Browns, right? If we had 5 defensive linemen out there and only 2 linebackers, that would be pretty tough, right? That would be pretty tough. That would be kind of scary because I mean, it's a lot of defensive linemen, and let's be honest, tight ends in this league are only getting more athletic and better, right? So I wouldn't feel comfortable with having Yannick Ngakoue have to go into the flats real quick to guard the flats in a play action scenario. Now, maybe this team does like to do a lot of play action, and we do want to be safe when they do pass. So instead of Max Crosby playing the 6 technique, we would probably see a guy like Yannick Ngakoue playing the 6 technique. Then you would probably take out Quinton Jefferson. You'd probably take out Quinton Jefferson at that 3 technique, slide in a guy like David Irving, maybe even Solomon Thomas. I believe that your 1 technique stays the same with Jonathan Hankins, and your 5 technique also stays the same with Cleveland Ferrell. But the only thing that changes is that your Leo now becomes a Sam linebacker, a strong side linebacker. And now I believe this is when you want to put Corey Littleton back into the game. Have Corey Littleton on that line of scrimmage. We all know that he had a lot of plays on that line of scrimmage when he was with the Rams. And I would honestly feel comfortable with Corey Littleton being on the line of scrimmage, and if he were there, we all know how athletically gifted he is, man. He can make a lot of plays against the play action, because then you only have your 4 down lineman, and then you have your linebacker who's also on the line of scrimmage, but he is not going to be rushing the passer, right? He's going to be really reading for the run or reading for the pass, right? So if that was this case, you take out Max Crosby and you leave in Cleveland Ferrell, you take out a guy like Quinton Jefferson, maybe you put in a David Irving or a Solomon Thomas at that 3 tech. I do believe that 5 technique stays the same with Cleveland Ferrell, and that 1 technique stays the same with Jonathan Hankins. But let's go left to right, right? I mean, it's a little bit confusing. So starting on the 6 technique, I believe that in a game like this against the Browns, maybe even the Ravens, when really run heavy teams, maybe you put Yannick on that 6 technique. You put either Solomon Thomas, maybe even David Irving on that 3 tech. 1 technique stays the same with Jonathan Hankins. Your 5 technique stays the same with Cleveland Ferrell. And then, like I said, your Leo now becomes your Sam or strong side linebacker. And maybe that's when you put in Corey Littleton, or you rotate Corey Littleton out and put in Divine Diablo, who is a guy who may be more suited for the run in some of your guys' opinions, since he's he's built a bit bigger, right? And now you have 4 defensive linemen. You have three linebackers, but you guys do have to remember that Jonathan Abram is going to be in the box a ton. He's going to be a kind of maybe 2 yards in this sort of formation in this bear front. He'll actually still be even closer to the line of scrimmage. Usually he'll be naturally about 7 to 10 yards away. In this formation, Jonathan Abram is going to be maybe 4 to 7 yards away from that line of scrimmage, so he'll be creeping up even closer. So it'll kind of be looking like we had 4 defense linemen and 4 linebackers, and in the situation where we have 5 defensive linemen, it'll look like 5 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers. So that's a very stout defense right there, and I would be very comfortable going up against the run with that defense, right? So if we had to go over that first one again, right? That first one would be, you would have Max Crosby out there. playing the 6 technique. Then your 3 technique would be Quentin Jefferson. Then your 1 would be Jonathan Hankins. Your 5 would be Cleveland Ferrell, and your Leo would be Yannick Ngakoue. This is the very, very run heavy system, and also that package can also really get after the quarterback as well. That's why his system is very, very good when it comes to versatility in that front 7. Now, let's say you did have that. You did start out with those 5 guys on that defensive line. Your linebacking core would probably end up looking like either Nicholas Morrow and Nick Wachowski in the middle, and then you would kind of have an outside linebacker with Jonathan Abram, right? But if you didn't have that and you went into your 4-down set, in your 4-down lineman set, and you had your 6 technique now becoming Yannick Ngakoue instead of Max Crosby, and then your Leo, instead of it being a Leo, you turn it into a Sam linebacker, you would have, Corey Littleton out there. Then you would really have like a 4-4 defense where you have 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebacker look, because it's not exactly 4 linebackers, but in this scenario, Jonathan Abram is always going to be in the box playing that sub linebacker role. So it'll be very, very similar. What I do like about this defense is that it is very stout against the run, very, very, very stout. Whatever personnel you think you want to have out there, it is a very, 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 very good run formation, man. It is a very, very good run formation, and that's one of the best keys about this Gus Bradley system as a whole, right? I mean, Gus Bradley's system, you have 8 guys in the box, and you have 3 guys covering the rest of the field going deep, right? I mean, 8 men in the box is very, very, very aggressive defense, right? I mean, that's a